Welcome back to Let's Play Higurashi Tsumihoroboshi. I loaded too fast. I was looking through my dictionary to find a word, and I couldn't find a word. I was looking to see if I had paranoia in here, but it clearly doesn't, and I think I checked before, and that should be obvious. Still got insomnia, insomnia, insomnia. Had more sleep than most of last week, I guess, but still not much. Anyway, I guess it's time. Actually, could that be in here? I doubt it. Let's see if this dictionary has crazy. Probably has insane. I mean, it has literally like murder and shit in here, just like the word for murder and all that, so I don't see why it wouldn't have at least crazy or insane in here. Come on, turn beige. You know what, that is like, page sounds like beige. I'm just like, what would be the Japanese equivalent of saying beige? Oh wait, it does have crazy in here. Kuruteru. Kuruteru. An insane person. An adjective. Kuruteru. Let's have a look-see and confirm if crazy is indeed how you're referring to Keiichi. Does that have a kanji character? Yeah, it does. Can I even see it there? Kanji character has a bit of an odd look to it. I don't see the kanji character in question. So maybe let's look for insane instead. There's gotta be variations, and this dictionary doesn't cover the variations on that one. Sometimes does for some words, but not all the time. Come on, come on. It's gotta be in here as well. Oh, here's a bonus word here. Kansen. Infection. Because, you know, the parasite thing. And mushi right there, insect. But I've covered that word before. Anyways, insane. Insane, anyone? Insane. Well, it must have been on the same page as insect, obviously. If it is there. Which it's right. Wait. No. No. No insane or insanity here, just crazy. Oh well. Can't confirm what it is then because the kanji character isn't there. And I don't quite see it showing the same, you know, pronunciation. Words in Japanese tend to do that. Depending on the context, it may be worded differently. And it looks like whatever crazy way to refer to him didn't use the same character either, so it must actually be a different thing, maybe. Anyways, brief recap. Keiichi confronted Rena. Rena was almost convinced that maybe she was delusional, and then she was like, but now I know something about Keiichi that makes me not trust him. And what could it be? Find out now. So what? I don't care who he was before he moved here. I did many bad things in Ibaraki too. I did many unforgivable things. I hurt my friends really bad. Broke the windows at the school and was suspended. I was a very bad girl. Did he treat me differently because of that? No, he didn't. Renryugu is Renryugu. He'll forgive me because it was Renryugu who did all those bad things in Ibaraki. He won't forgive me. I should know better. Keiichi my bar believes that I'm a kind and modest girl because he doesn't know Rena. If he found out about Rena, what would he do? He would check your name to see if it's in kanji this time. Because now that's your real name, so it's gotta have a kanji character, right? Wait. Look for a reoccurring kanji character. Because I do not see her name in hiragana, so it's gotta be. You got Keiichi's name again, that's easy to see because of this. But where's Rena's name? That's the kanji character for girls, so that must be what she's like. Oh, you wouldn't think that he's a modest girl. You know, it's like a variety of ways of saying girl as well. It's like you got shoujo and you got ona and stuff like that. Probably ona in this case. So like ona no something that or blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Oh, that's gotta be her name then. Rena. Just one kanji character, is it? Because I'm assuming that's the kanji character because it's right there as well. I do not know what her name actually means, but I think they might have actually gone over that at one point, but whatever. You know, kind of think of it, would Keiichi's name probably mean something like first something, wouldn't it? Because he's got the number 1 in his name. He wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't be scared of me. Rena is Rena. Rena is a different girl. The same goes with Keiichi-kun. I don't care who he was before he moved here. We're even. Are you okay, Rena? Just like, sorry, I just had to readjust my position from the side of the screen to the center. Don't touch me. Rena knocked my hand aside when I reached for her. Oh, it's the creepiest of eyes. Like, her eyes are freaky as fuck, but I find these to be more soul-staring. You keep saying you're my friend. You want me to trust because of that. You want me to believe that you're right, even if the world says you're wrong. Are you out of your mind? That's more delusional than anything else. I don't care what you say. I'm your friend. Everything I say for your sake. Don't doubt me. I know I'm right. You know, Keiichi, you're usually good with words, but in this case, I think you're, like, not really using the right words. Because you also end up becoming across as a bit, you know, bullshit. But not convincing bullshit. Just like, really? You're just like, then can I ask you something? Just like, okay, serious now. Really? Is that all you've got? Yes, anything. Friends don't keep secrets from another, right? Of course, I'm not hiding anything from you. Oh, are you sure? She's gonna drop a bombshell on your ass. You're lying. Usada! I'm not! Every time I see lie in this and all that, because it's so distinct to this series, because just from that one scene, really, where she's just like, Usada! I just gotta see how it's written out. Usada yo! Usunankatsukanai! I'm assuming it's pronounced like that, Usu. It's like if you were saying you're a liar or something, it'd be something like Usotsuki. But in this case, it's Usadayo, and him denying it is Usunankatsukanai. I'm assuming. You know, by this point, I should freaking have memorized the kanji character for it. I mean, look at that shit. How do you write out something like that? It's like, okay, where do we start? It's like, with Japanese, there's a specific way, like an order, where you just be like, I don't know, you gotta like, it's essentially like freaking drawing when it comes to kanji characters, isn't it? It's like with like hiragana here, just be like, okay, there's one line, it's like whip. Maybe some people will be like whip and then whoop, but that could just be done in one go. Or this for a car here could be like dip, dip, dip. Or maybe it's a different order and I've just been doing it wrong all this time. But it's easier to write out hiragana and katakana than it is kanji characters, because kanji characters are a lot more complicated looking. Well, some of them are pretty simple. I mean, the 1 for 1 is just a freaking line, but, you know, they get increasingly more complicated. Uh-oh. Yes, you are! Now, calm face. Ha ha ha! I wonder if she said Usada as well, or if she just said, yes, you are. No, but she really did. She said, Usada! Classic Rena line, that's very distinct. What's so funny? Keiichi-kun, you think you can keep it secret from me, don't you? I know everything. I know what you did before you moved here. I know. I know! In a negative tone! I felt as if my entire body was covered in frosty needles. I can't tell if her face looks creepier or less creepy in this. You know what? In this kind of effect, it makes it look like she's like come from a different century. And not a different century in Japan either. We're talking Europe here. Like Middle Ages. Maybe. Or at least, you know, maybe like, I don't know, 19th century, early 20th century kind of stuff here. My body and mind froze all of a sudden, as her hair went blue and her face and body went blue, and her bows went green and her dress darkened. Is it a dress? I don't care. And her hat darkened as well. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. How come she knows about that? Well, Keiichi, so much for you. It's just like, oh no, we don't keep secrets. And then you're pretty much internally it's like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't tell her about any of that shit. I asked her where she sent check on everybody. Everybody. That's why I know what you did before you came here. I knew what you did last summer! Actually, that'd probably be accurate even, wouldn't it? I mean, Keiichi only has recently moved there in the year. So, if I recall, whatever, like, we heard about it in either Onikakushi or Tatarigoroshi. I can't remember which. It was Tatarigoroshi, I'm pretty sure. They expanded a bit of backstory on Keiichi's life before moving there. But I don't think it no, it didn't really go over what Rena's gonna reveal. But he did give a bit of backstory on how his life was before moving there, but not quite how he ended up moving there. It's just like, there is a reason, it's just like, I don't know. It's a bit more to it than that. It's like, that's the thing with this series. You get little bits of information each arc, and sometimes you don't get information on certain characters. You only get them sparingly through specific arcs. But by the end of all this, we'll know a lot more. It's just like, I'm just like curious with this. It's just like, so if you gotta, we should do background checks. It's like, what about, you know, say Satoko and Rika and all that? I mean, we know quite a bit about Mion, so maybe Mion as well, but you know, Uishi's got that kind of bias, kind of suspecting the Sonozaki family, so he latches onto any negative information there. Stop it, you got it all wrong. You only targeted little girls. You have to tell Satoko-chan and Rika-chan about it. I can't believe a dangerous person like you isn't here us the whole time. Well, that sounds bad. No, it wasn't like that. It just turned out that way.
A series of attacks on school kids. Bravo! It has a strong impact as the series of mysterious deaths of Hinamizawa.
No, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like what? You shot little kids with a BB gun when you were walking alone on deserted streets. What a horrifying incident. It instilled fear into the whole city for a while. Members of the PTA had to watch the kids at every street corner when they walked between home and school. You shot one of the girls in her eyes and she was badly injured. Fortunately, the damage wasn't permanent. You had a BB gun and you only shot little kids. How disgusting. I mean, if you shot other people, it wouldn't be disgusting.
That would still be douchey.
What made you enjoy it so much? You must have really enjoyed it because you continued to do it for a long time. But then you turned yourself into the police accompanied by your parents in a crisis of conscience. You couldn't even take responsibility for your actions on your own. Juvenile law was kind to you, wasn't it? It prevented your name from being disclosed to the public or the victims. I bet your father spent a lot of money to protect you. He paid a lot of compensation to settle the case out of court, and he had you placed on probation. After the case cooled down, he used the power of money once again to move far away from the city. Everything's solved, right? You're lucky that your father's so rich.
No, it wasn't like that.
Why didn't you tell us about it? You told me that you did nothing but study at your previous school. Why did you lie like that?
Sorry, I didn't mean to lie. Well, to be fair, that's not something you'd likely say, you know. It's like, how would you go about bringing that up? It's like, play the game, it's like, oh, by the way, when I was a kid, I was a right dickhead, you know, when I was younger.
I thought friends didn't keep secrets from one another, right? So that makes you not my friend!
The blades of her words hit hard, and they made my eyes bleed. The blood was clear and it tasted salty. You know, if your eyes suddenly start bleeding, then you've got a serious undiagnosed issue there, Keiichi.
I can't trust you because of what you did in the past. Don't you ever think you can hide it from me?
I remember how deeply I regretted it. I couldn't regret enough. I wanted to forget it, but I couldn't. I made a stupid mistake. Why? Well, does she have to bring it up right now? Well, why did you do it, Keiichi? Why? What? Actually, I'm not sure. I think he's gonna go into detail about it, but I kind of vaguely remember why he did those horrible, shitty things. I apologized and stepped at everything, and I moved here to put it behind me. I went to have a fresh start in Hinamizawa. I swore to myself to live a clean life from then on. Everything is ruined now. I'll be a criminal no matter where I go. I was stressed out with my exam studies. I was frustrated. I randomly shot people. I didn't care if it was girls or kids. Why did I do something so stupid? There was no reason. I had no reason to do that. I just wanted to get someone's attention. I didn't have the courage to tell my parents that I didn't want to study. I just wanted somebody to scold me, so I used childish ways to get attention. I regret what I did. I swear I'll never do something that stupid again. If I do it again, they can send me to the chair. Well, it is a pretty damn horrible thing that he did, but I don't think it's enough to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word, but it doesn't feel like a kind of thing that, you know, lead to a death sentence. It's absolutely fucking horrible, but not to that extent. If there was something I could do to be completely forgiven, I'd do it, no matter what it was. But, no matter how deeply I regret it, and no matter how long I atone for my sin, I'll never be forgiven. That's why I wanted to sweep the whole thing under the carpet and have a fresh start. I have nothing to say if somebody tells me that forgetting my sin is an act of cowardice. Sins are sins. You can't just get rid of them. You have to carry them for the rest of your life. I know that's the fate of a sinner. If you don't want to live like that, don't be a sinner. I understand that logic too. But then, how are sinners supposed to live? You know, that's a point, if you ask me. It's like, say someone commits a crime, like Keiichi, essentially, and they are genuinely remorseful and just will never do that shit again. They're kind of like trying to atone for what they did, but at the same time, in the eyes of society, it's just like, you're never going to work out, kind of thing, you know? It'll always be there, kind of thing. So what the fuck can they do once they've done something like that? It's just, I don't know.
Anyway, you're not my friend. Not going to take any orders from someone who isn't my friend. I'll need you to leave me alone for a while, okay?
I didn't notice until she spoke that I was on my knees, hanging my head. Rena picked up the hatchet she dropped earlier. Boy, she gonna fricking execute you? It's like, well, you asked for the chair, Keiichi, but you got a guillotine instead. I wanted her to hit my head with it. He wants it, he wants to die! Yeah, that's right. If anything's gonna be torn apart, I'd rather it be my body. Or your head, really. Compared to the pain in my heart being torn to shreds, I'd rather she cut my head off. I believed it. I still believe it. I still believe it right at this moment. I believe that I'm their friend. But in fact, I'm starting to become aware of it. I want to believe I am their friend because I don't want to accept my past. Trying to sell myself that, but I feel stupid crying like this. My face is all messy with tears. I was never their friend. I'm a sinner, and I hid my past from them. I hid it because I was scared. I told her that friends don't hide anything from another, and I hid my past from them. I hid my sin from them. My past has nothing to do with how I live my life here. If I ever attacked a kid in this village just because I was frustrated, I wouldn't mind it if they killed me and cut me into pieces. But I'll never do anything like that again. I just want to live normally. What I did before I moved here has nothing to do with my life now. For instance, when I moved here too, I wouldn't change the way I see her, even if I found out she did something bad before she moved here. Well, she did. I mean, it's kind of been alluded to, but it was in Onikakushi where Keiichi actually did learn about it from Higurashi, which is funny enough, because like now Ren is the one hearing the dirt on the other characters from Higurashi doing background checks. But essentially, Rena flipped out at her old school, smashed a bunch of windows. I think she like injured one or two of her friends as well. So yeah. Right? I wouldn't, would I? Even if Rena beat some of her friends or broke all the windows of her school, I wouldn't care because it happened in Higurashi. She didn't do that in Hinamizawa. Rena's Rena, she's my best friend. That's why I wouldn't see her differently, even if I found out about her past. Well, what if her past was like, oh, she went on a rampage and killed like several people? It's like, breaking windows and injuring people is one thing, but murder, oh, that's... You probably would still forgive her, to be fair. I mean, she technically has. She killed Teppei and Rena, but those two, it's like, can kind of like, oh yeah, I can sympathize with your situation. Still murder, but I can see why you end up escalating to that. That's a lie! That's a lie! That's a lie! That's a lie! Every time I must see what the lie is in Japanese because it's so distinct. Usada! Usada! I'm just thinking like Fist of the North Star. Imagine instead of just like just like with every hit, the that's a lie attack. I'd keep a distance from her if I found out that she really did such things. I'd be scared of her. I wouldn't try to listen to her. Why? It's just a rumor. Why would I be scared of her? She's my best friend. If I was in her situation, would I reject her just like she did? So Rena's rejection of me was completely natural. Then what am I supposed to do? I was the only one crying. Rena wasn't crying. She looked at me as if she was looking at something dirty. After giving me a nasty look, she disappeared into the darkness. Rena didn't forgive me. There was nothing I could do to atone for my sin but to keep crying, still down on my knees. Well, Keiichi, you must feel like absolute shit. New tips are raising their hair, move to Hinamizawa. So we're gonna get more backstory.